Okay, this is the recording for the Maple TA7E homework. So the first one says, compute the following without using the factorial function on your calculator. So 8 factorial. So 8 factorial means you're going to do 8 times 7 times 6 times 5 all the way till you get to 1 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. So multiply all of that out on your calculator. And then you should be getting 40,320. Then don't use commas when you enter your answer. So there's number 1. So number 2 is another factorial problem. And again, you can't use the factorial function on your calculator. So 7 factorial would be 7 times 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1, all divided by 5 factorial, which is 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. So you can go through and you can multiply the top, and then you can go through and multiply the bottom. Or you can go through and simplify as you go. And so, like this 5, these 5s, the 5s can cancel out the 4s, the 3s, the 2s, and the 1. Since we're being multiplied, we can divide all of those out. So we're left with 7 times 6, which gives us 42. So you'll get the same thing if you go through and multiply the top, and then multiply the bottom, and then divide. So you can pick which way you want to do that. Okay, the next one, 12 factorial on the top. So we're going to have, actually before I do that, let's simplify a little bit. So 12 factorial, then on the bottom, we'll have 3 factorial, and then parentheses, 12 minus 3 is 9, so we'll have 9 factorial. So we have 12 on the top times 11 times 10 times 9 times 8, and so on, all the way until we get to 1. And then on the bottom, we'll have 3 factorial, which is 3 times 2 times 1, times 9 factorial, which is 9 times 8, also all the way till you get to 1. So if you'll notice, all of these 9 to 1s are going to cancel out, or divide out. So on the top, we have 12 times 11 times 10, and then on the bottom, we have 3 times 2 times 1. So you can simplify even more than this if you want, or you can just go ahead and multiply those 3 numbers on the top to get 1,320. And then on the bottom, you will get 6, and then divide that out, and you should end up with 220. And again, if you want to go through and multiply all of these numbers, 9 through 1, and then multiply all of the numbers on the bottom, that's fine. You'll just have really big numbers. You'll end up dividing them, and then you'll end up with the 220 still. So a few different ways to do these types of problems. Okay, the next one, number 4. How many different arrangements could be made using 4 characters if repetition is not allowed? Assume your alphabet consists of lowercase letters and the digits 0 through 9. So lowercase letters, we know we're going to have 26 of those. And then the digit 0 through 9, those are 10 digits, because you got to count 0 as a digit. So 1 through 9 would be 9 digits, and then 0 is where you get your 10 digits. So we have a total of 36 characters. And it says that repetition is not allowed. So that means we can't have 2 A's, or we can't have 2 B's. We can't have anything that repeats. So we want an arrangement that's 4 characters. So I like using lines to say, like, here's the first spot, second spot, third spot, fourth spot. Then I'm going to put how many possibilities in each spot, and then I'm going to multiply. So we have 36 characters to choose from for our first spot because we have 36 in our alphabet, in this particular alphabet. And then since repetition is not allowed, it will be 35 and then 34 because we'll have one less to choose from each time. If repetition was allowed, it would just be the 36 times 36 times 36 times 36. Multiply all of those out, and here's our final answer. And remember, when you enter it in Mabel TA, make sure you don't have any commas. So 1,413,720. Okay, number 5. How many ways can 6 graduates line up to receive their diploma? So same idea here on as the other one with the 4 lines. So in this one, I'm going to do 6. So here are the spots. So 6 graduates line up. So we're not going to repeat any graduates because we're assuming that each person is going to get a diploma and there's not going to be one person that gets more than one. So we have 6 to choose from, and then 5, and then 4, 3, 2, and 1. So if we multiply all of those together, we should end up with 720. Then on the next one, it says, in how many ways can 6 graduates line up to receive their diplomas if there are 4 girls and 2 boys, and the girls, pretend like that's spelled right, will receive their diplomas first? Okay, so we're going to do same thing with 6 lines, and the girls are going to receive their diplomas first. So we have 4 girls to choose from, and then 3, 2, 1, because none of them can be repeated. And then we're going to have 2 boys, so we can choose out of the 2 boys, and then there's going to be 1 boy left. So if we multiply all of those out, we'll end up with 48. So a lot less possibilities than the 720. Okay, the next one, number 6. An insurance fraud investigator chooses 7 people to audit from a pool of 17 people. And how many different groups of people can he audit? So we're dealing with groups of people, so order is not going to matter on this one. It won't matter which person he audits first, just the groups that we're looking at. So because it doesn't matter, this is a combination problem. So it's an NCR problem. You can go ahead and use the formula if you want, or you can use Excel. I'm going to talk about how to use it in your calculator if you have an NCR button. So if you have an NCR button, we're going to do 17, and then we're going to find the NCR, and then we're going to type in 7 and then hit enter. So to find this button, it'll depend on the calculator you have, but a lot of the scientific calculators have one. If you have a TI 30 calculator or a 30X calculator, there should be a button that says PRB, which stands for probability. It's right kitty corner next to the second button up in the corner. So if you click on that, you'll see a few options. The first 3 you'll see is NPR, NCR, and then the factorial. So if you click that, you should be able to choose the NCR. If you want to know if your calculator has this NCR button, you can go ahead and Google it or YouTube it, or you can email me and I can look it up for you and let you know if yours has it. So when we go through and do that, so 17, then the NCR 7, you should end up with 19,448. And again, if you want to use the formula or if you want to use Excel, that's fine too. Okay, number 7. If you toss a coin 7 times and list the results, heads or tails, in order, how many different orders are possible? So we're going to do the line thing again. So we have 7 things here. So the first one, heads or tails. So we have 2 different possibilities each time. So if we multiply all of those 2's out, multiply 2 7 times, we should end up with 128. On a lot of these problems, you can use this method of putting the lines and figuring, okay, how many possibilities are in each one? And then we're going to multiply all of those. Okay, number 8. A manufacturer's serial numbers consist of 4 letters of the alphabet followed by 4 numerical digits. How many serial numbers are possible? So it doesn't say that they cannot repeat. So because of that, we're going to assume that they can repeat. So letters of the alphabet, there's 26. And then 4 numerical digits, there's going to be 10 total digits of 0 through 9. So we're going to have our 4 letters followed by our 4 numbers. So we're going to have a total of 8 things. So 4 letters go first. So remember, we're going to assume that they can repeat. So you could have like 4 A's in a row. So there's our digits, our alphabet. And then followed by our digits, we're also going to assume those can repeat. And you can put multiplication signs in between each of these. And then multiply all of those out. It's going to be a really big number. So this is the number you should get. And then it'll remind you in parentheses not to use commas. So there's your answer for number 8. So on the next 3, there are tutorial videos on 9, 10, and 11. So if you have any additional questions on any of these ones I've done or on 9, 10, or 11, then post it to the discussion board, the main class-wide discussion board, so everybody can see it, or you can send me an email.